FTTV, how are the San Francisco 49ers going to replace the best left tackle in all of the National Football League? Now, we thought that this was going to come from the draft. And then, I don't know about you, but I know a lot of you were sitting at home and it was the 6th pick and it was the 7th pick and it was the 8th pick. And you kept just thinking, we're going to trade up for the guy. We're going to trade up. We're going to get a tackle, right? We're going to trade up for the tackle. What are we doing? And people were absolutely freaking out, right? Am I right? Be honest. Was it you? Let me know in the comments if that was you. But one of the former Niners general managers thinks that he could already be on the roster. I'm not making this up. I'm stoked to tell you about it. I'm going to tell you who it is and how it could happen next. I'm Nate, if you're new here, covering all things San Francisco sports, and it really helps me out if you hit that subscribe button. Well, in case you missed it, this report, former 49ers GM thinks 49ers might have found their Trent Williams replacement. Who is it? What did he say? I'm going to bring it all right now. But the former GM is Scott McCloughan. So let's go ahead and take a little looky here. Offensive tackle was often circled as the 49ers' most glaring need heading into the NFL draft, which is why everybody was freaking out during the draft. And not only did San Francisco not trade up, they didn't even appear to draft an offensive tackle at all. However, Scott McCloughan believes one of their 2 selections on the offensive line could actually succeed Williams. This got me hyped when I read this, and I started deep diving because I was like, what am I missing? So obviously they selected him, Dominic Puni, in the 3rd round, who was listed as a guard. A lot of people think as a guard. Some people even thought he might be a center. But Puni was left tackle for the Kansas Jayhawks, has experience at right tackle and guard as well, and most draft analysts picked him as a guard. While McCloughan told Matt Barrows of The Athletic, I hope I didn't just mess his name up, he believes Puni will play guard. The former GM didn't rule out the third round pick moving back to his natural left tackle position someday. Here's what he said, literal words. He's really good with his hips and feet, really good, but I'm not so sure he can't be a left tackle when it's all said and done. That, my friends, is what you call a double negative. I'm not so sure that he can't be left tackle, which is the same as saying, I think he might be a future left tackle when it's all said and done if he gets stronger. Respect, appreciate the caveat there. That's a fair caveat. But also, we're going to talk about some of the scouting reports here in a minute. So it's fair to say there's always a caveat from anybody that you draft from college, because college to NFL is never as clear as we all wish and dream and believe that it could be. It just never works that perfectly. I guess every once in a while. But look, it's a long way off, though, for Puni, who will need to first prove he can hang at either right guard or right tackle in his first season. It sounds like San Francisco views him as a competitor for the starting right guard spot for now. If he wins that and plays well, though, he could start getting looks for a move back out to tackle. Now, that's one scenario. There's actually another scenario before I get into some of the scouting reports on this guy. The other possibility is he finds his way into right tackle this season. And a lot of people thought that the 49ers are going to draft a right tackle to replace Trent when he retires. So you got your right tackle guy who can play left tackle, and that kind of goes on. So there's definitely like a possibility here, okay? And it's not just out there in the, interverse. What am I trying to say here? I was going to say Twitterverse or something, but those rumors do go around the Twitterverse. I don't know. It's not out there on the internet, just some random place. It's actually like solid people who are saying this could happen. Don't count this out. So then I went to this great Kyle Posey article he does where he likes to pull up all of the scouting reports after those players were drafted. So you can see all the players that the 49ers drafted and what scouting reports said about them before they were drafted, right? And I've got some highlights for here. And I need you to, I don't want to caveat this, all right? Because you can screenshot this at any point in time and you can see a lot of negative things that people are also saying about these guys. Some of those things I think are true. Some of those things are probably not. And it's probably fair to say some of the positives are not true too. But I want you to just see the positives. So I just highlighted the positives. Let's be bright-sided, blue skies. You know, let's think about the flowers for a minute here and just say, what could this guy be? Is Scott crazy? Or is this like actually possible? Okay. So starting 22 games at both tackles in 3 seasons, that most played. He's a 4-positional player. So that's guard, tackle. He's a smooth athlete. This guy can be really good. He just got to get it out of him. He's just got to get it out of him. Talking about how he kind of like sometimes would fall into almost like a D2 kind of player. But if you really got it out of him, he was great, right? I'd try him at left tackle. When he's on, this was written before he was selected by the 49ers. When he's on with his movement and natural athletic ability, he does some really nice things at left tackle. You love his size, his length, and his strength. It gets better, guys. He plays with a violent attitude and works to annihilate opponents. We just talked yesterday about how John Lynch, one of the 2 things he's looking for in a player, well, 3. One is culture. Does he fit our culture of how he plays? But 2 is strength, power, and speed, right? Remember, those were the 2 things that Lynch was really talking about there. He plays with a violent attitude and works to annihilate opponents. Of course, Lynch liked this guy. He displays outstanding awareness as well as vision and works well with his teammates. Again, caveat, there are a lot of negative things in here too that even Kyle Posey will agree with some of them, or at least presumably not disagree with some of them. But let's look at his stats here. Or not stats, just some draft grades, right? Scouting reports. So strengths, nimble, feet to pull, find second level angles to adjust, moving targets in space, good posture and footwork to slide. This, I'll tell you, goes against what a couple of the scouts said, if I'm just being honest with you. Secure and climb on workout blocks, excels in timing up his hands to gain, excels in timing up his hands to gain optimal arm extension, keeps a stiff punch extended to rob rusher at his operational space. There was by the way, I don't know, I'm starting to read and I was thinking about this one. There was a negative report on this particular one, actually, too, but was written in a very subjective way that like, or a non-factual way. Like it was just like, oh yeah, sometimes if he's not quickest off the line, then he might not, his arm length might be a little bit of a weakness and he gets beat. Okay. I mean, you could say that about anybody who's ever been in that situation before, right? There's no like actual data or facts to back that up. So anyway, good feel for independent hands to handle counters and spin moves. Bleacher Report had some similar information. Wide body frame, thick build with very good play strength and squares power. Great power. By the way, I looked up some footage on the guy because I wanted to get my eyes on it. I'm not a die-hard college football guy. I really enjoy college football, but I have little kids, and this is not the season of life that I'm watching a ton of college football right now. So, I don't have like I watched this guy like 15 times. I'm just going to be honest with you. But when I watched the highlights, what I noticed was his physique and style was a little bit different from maybe what you typically expect out of maybe a left tackle. Like I don't think he's quite big enough yet. He needs to keep building. So anyway, some positives here. Heavy, jarring hands to create immediate displacement and torque on contact. Very good run blocker who knows how to sustain, steer, and finish due to impressive body control and grip strength. Takes proper angles on the move with good burst and quickness to intersect targets on pulls, climbs, and screams. Calm and collected footwork with a strong base in pass protection maximizes his ability to recover against inside moves. If you read these 3 right here, you're like, why is this guy not a first round pick? I mean, geez, these positives sound so good. Runs feet and plays hard through the whistle to make downfield blocks and clean up piles. That's a culture thing. Love that culture. That's what John Lynch is talking about, right? In terms of draft prospects here, where was it? Sorry. Here we go. Sorry. Okay, so he totaled as like a 10th ranked guard in the draft this year. So, I will just say I like it. I really like it. And I feel really positive about him. But before I end this video, and I know I'm already at 10 minutes, but there's one other thing I really want to talk about. Because everybody's talking about how Trent Williams' replacement's either going to come from a first-round draft pick that the 49ers trade up for, which being at 31 would be a nasty move. You'd have to do a lot of work to get there, and it would also mean pushing aside one of those top receivers. There were about 5 or 6 in a little huddle there around the 49ers that they could have theoretically gotten pretty easily by moving down a couple times or moving back a couple times. And they really wanted Pearsall. So that would have been something they would have to give in on, first of all. But secondly, the other option is you pay somebody. And that's going to be really expensive. To trade for a big number one left tackle is going to be very expensive. It's going to be draft picks. It's going to be money. That's all good and fair, and I've heard those arguments. But there's something that I feel like nobody's talking about, which is the fact that where is the current best left tackle in the world? Where did he come from? Let's not forget Trent Williams was I believe it was a 5th round pick and a future 3rd. That's a steal. If you ask me, that's a steal for becoming what we now consider the best left tackle in the National Football League. Now, granted, naysayers, disagreeers, you would say, well, he was the 4th overall pick his year that he was drafted, whatever year that was, like 15, 14, I don't know, 17, something like that. And that's 100% fair. He was number 4 overall. He was a big pickup, right, for Washington, I think, right? But by the time he ends up in the 49ers position that we're trying to replace, remember how we got him. That's pretty crazy. I just feel like, yes, it's true that the 49ers might have to put a lot of money and draft capital into the left tackle replacement, but I don't know. Maybe an actual general manager who's seen the game might actually have another suggestion, which is he could be sitting on your roster. Build him up, give him strength, give him time. He could be your left tackle replacement. He might not, probably won't be the best left tackle in all of football, but can he do a pretty darn good job and bide your time to continue to do what the 49ers are doing, which is get guys in that build the scheme, build the system. I don't know. I just love it. I love the way that this is being played. Yes, for sure. If everything was perfect, it would be great if the 49ers go up and they draft, the best offensive tackle and say we're happy and everybody goes home feeling really good. But this is not a bad second plan, considering what they didn't have to give up in order to get him. Hey, that's just my opinion. I think this is going to be great. I did do a poll on this, by the way, which I forgot to pull up. I was going to put it on the screen for you. I did do a poll on the YouTube channel there. I need to do that more. If you like that kind of stuff, let me know, because I would be happy to do more of those types of things. Honestly, I'm just filling time. I'm just going to be honest with you. Okay, I gotta pick one. I'm going to say, could Dominic Puni become the Trent Williams replacement? I'm going to say maybe given time. All right, maybe given time. And you said that too. 63% of you said maybe given time out of 122 votes. 63% of you maybe given time. That's pretty optimistic. If 63 plus 16 would be what, 79%, nearly 80% say maybe or yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, there's that poll on there. Sorry, it took me a second to pull it up. Hey, I'm feeling really positive. I hope that you're feeling positive. Make sure you subscribe. We're going to be covering all things San Francisco sports going into the National Football season. But, of course, before that, OTAs, training camp, lots of great news. Still some more pickups that could happen. So it'll be a lot of fun. And I'll be with you all the way through there. And as always, Bay Area faithful, what a time to be alive.